Okay guys, it's time for another one of these Habs news update thingamajiggies, and in today's jiggy, we're gonna take a look at Chris Nilan's termination from TSN 690. We'll talk a little bit about Gary Bettman and what he would say about the upcoming draft, and we'll also take a look at the recent trade rumors. As you know, Darren Dreger has been spewing some more of his psychedelic mind trickery upon us. Whatever the hell that is. But first, before we swanton bomb right into this, if you're a fan of the Habs, or you think Gary Bittman should possibly consider ear reduction surgery, then please consider subscribing to my channel, as I upload a ton of hockey content and would really enjoy having some more of you grasshoppers tag along for the ride. Okay, first up on the list here, let's get this one out of the way, the elephant in the room. It's probably gonna piss some people off that I'm even bringing this up, but I don't really give a shit, so here we go. I'm talking about it anyway. Former Habs tough guy, Chris Nilan, who has been working for TSN 690's radio station for years now, has been terminated. Okay, he's gone. You're probably not gonna hear from him on there anymore. And it's a shame, you know, I always enjoyed listening to Nolan's take on the team. I always thought it was cool, you know, having a guy who played an enforcer role for the Canadiens share his thoughts on the team. Did I always agree with what he said? No. But I did enjoy his perspective. But that's it, he's gone. The reason behind his contract termination is that he didn't want to get vaccinated, okay? He said he was ordered to take it, but based on his medical conditions, he decided against it. He wasn't really comfortable getting the vaccine. From what he was saying in his statement thingy that I've got on the screen here, he did have difficulty obtaining a doctor's note, and bam, the next thing he knows, Bell Media terminated his contract effective immediately. Chris Nilan would leave with a heartfelt thank you to his fans and his supporters. This is a guy that's been through some really rough times in his life. So whether you agree with this or not, let's hope for a positive future for Chris Nilan. He had his life back on track, he seemed to enjoy what he was doing, so it's kind of crappy that it came to an end for him this way. On a brighter note, you know, who knows? Maybe the guy can start a podcast or something. I definitely listen to that. As for the termination, I'm not really going to say a whole lot on this one because it's opening up a pretty big can of beans. But I will say this, the guy was working from home anyway. Or at least that's what I've been reading. So what the hell? Anyway, next up, we got Mr. Gary Bettman. Right before the All-Star shenanigans, Bettman would step up to the plate and he dropped a little bit of a bomb on the fans of the Montreal Canadiens, stating that this year's draft may not be held in Montreal again due to all the COVID regulations. The NHL, you know, they want to be able to put asses in the seats. And as of right now, they can't really do that. I know this doesn't really affect us, because after all, we just care about the guy that they draft. But I did think, you know, it would be pretty cool for the Habs to get a high pick and put him at center stage, right at home, right away. But keep in mind, this can still happen because a lot can change between now and July. So maybe, just maybe, it'll still go ahead as planned. On to some more news. Our little TSN Hulkster, Darren Dreger, made an interesting comment a couple of days ago with regards to the trade deadline and the Montreal Canadiens. These two things go together like cookies and milk right now. Dreger would say if there's any untouchable on the Habs roster, it's Suzuki and Caulfield and some of their prospects. Other than that, they're, quote, open for business. Whoa. He would also add, there's no doubt that the Canadiens are going to look a lot different after March 21st. Holy crap! This one sounds a little funny to me. I mean, I obviously expect them to look different, but define a lot different. Dreger, huh? Are we gonna go from this to this? Are we gonna go from a mustache like that to that? Or are we gonna go from that to that? Moving on! I know there's quite a few Habs fans who are clenching their butt cheeks right now at the thoughts of grabbing Patrice Bergeron. But Bergeron would speak last night just ahead of the All-Star game and confirmed that his intentions right now are to stay in Boston. There may be a chance, of course, that they don't get a deal worked out. There is definitely some work to be done between him and the Bruins, but to be honest, I don't expect him to play for the Canadiens, okay? It's a bit of a pipe dream, plus he's at the back end of his career anyway. After all these years in Boston, the thoughts of putting on a Habs jersey for Patrice Bergeron right now would be similar to putting on a thong. Okay, it'd be weird. As for the Jeff Petry sweepstakes, there's been quite a bit of chatter floating around. You know, a lot of people still expecting him to get dealt before the trade deadline. According to some sources, Hughes has a pretty big asking price for Petry, despite his craptacular play. Is that even a word? Craptacular? Well, it is now. The Habs are rumored to be looking for a first-round pick, plus an A-type prospect, or possibly even a second-round pick. So, what do you guys think of that? Because I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like an awful lot to me. Would it be nice? Yeah. But based off of Petry's age, his contract, and his recent play, sounds a little like wishful thinking. But who knows, right? We've all seen crazier things happen. A member of the Habs coaching staff, Alexander Burrows, would also chime in and, share some of his insight on the Habs' potential rebuild right now. And Burrows would even go as far as mentioning a few names that he thinks they should rebuild the team around. He says, quote, "I think of Suzuki, Caulfield, and Romanov. Then you've got the Evans, Palin, Gooley, Norlander, Vedamo, and Harvey Pinard or your Ninja Turtle, because oftentimes you want to build around your young core." Interesting perspective for sure, coming from a guy like Burrows, but he's not wrong. He's just stating the obvious, you gotta build around the kids. Anyway, guys, that does it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you didn't, I hope your dog takes a dump in your shoes. And hey, I'll see you next time.